Hey there, this is Olivier Georges. Today we're going to be discussing how a bill becomes a law, and during this we're going to learn our legislative process. All right, so today I'm going to be making the analogy or the metaphor of comparing how a bill becomes a law by using the reference of a sandwich. Everybody loves sandwiches, right? So yeah, all right, so perfect, boom. We have our first step, right, which is our bread. We're going to quote that as bread. And our first step in that is deciding, okay, well, we want we need bread for a sandwich to be a sandwich. We need bread for a bill to become a law. You need which is your first step, the creation of the bill. We're gonna call that ingredients for it for step one. So in step one, members of the House or the Senate draft, sponsor, or introduce bills for consideration by Congress. This would just be the House clerk assigning legislative numbers for the bills introduced in the House of Representatives, then assigning the Senate clerk assigning legislative numbers for the bills introduced by the Senate. Okay, so now we're on our step two. So our first step was for the ingredients for the bread. We're gonna have to make the bread, okay? And just as though we're pairing that, this is the creation of the bill for step one. So step two, we have committee action. Now this committee action is when the committee is assigned a study of the bill and basically analyze it. They have to fact check. They have to fact check it. They're brainstorming, and often committees will refer a bill to one of the subcommittees, and that subcommittee reports to the government agencies. Now they both hold hearings, and they offer opportunity of testimony regarding the issues of the bill, or they revise it. They're just, they're making it recommend. They're making the full recommendations. They're making full recommendations so that it can be able to pass. To pass and review and to release the bill. So now we're pairing that with um, we're having a group choice for what type of bread. Now I'm still talking about a sandwich. This is step two. So now step three. This is the floor action. The floor action is in which we once the bill is returned to the floor house or the Senate for further debate or approval. At that point, the point members may propose amendments for the bill still, or just additional text, or just trying to just fill out the areas that it might have missed from before. So here we have our further elaboration on what bread we might want. It could be Italian, it could be regular, sourdough. And then for our step four, which is actually the vote, this is when we have all our consensus from the House and the Senate members, and they vote on their respective version of the proposed bill. So this is are all in favor. So this is the group vote on what bread we would make. All right, now, so we're on step five. So step five is the baking process, which is paired to the conference committees. This conference committee is when the bill must be approved by both chambers of the Congress, when the Senate amends and agrees to the bill and the version of the bill that the House already passed, or which the House amends and passes the Senate bill, or the version of the Senate bill, or the two chambers. Basically, if they didn't come to an agreement, the two chambers may begin to resolve any legislative differences between the House and the Senate version. So basically, they come into a pair. They have to come into agreement, and then the final compromise would just be in a conference report. So after all of that is done, the conference report will recommend a common version of the measure for approval, and includes both statements from legislative intent regarding provisions in legislation in the joint statement of managers of the conference. So now this is step six. Step six is where we have already made a consensus of the bread. We already have exactly what we want. Now we can bake it, and now step six would be the presidential action. This is where, after the bill both passes the chambers, this is where the final say so from the president is actually he grants it approval with his signature. So this is when, in this case, the sandwich that we're making for the Americans in this case, we have a consensus of what sandwich we would like, and we're trying to do this for the people, and we have um, measurements from the people of what they like. So with that, we have the final say so. So presidents give us official stamp. Now this is the okay, and now we're gonna add our layers to our sandwich. We're gonna add our cheese. We're gonna add our ham. We're gonna add our turkey. Whatever it was that we had agreed on those two things, on those two ideas on this law. And then for step 7, we have the creation of the law, and this is the creation of the whole sandwich. The creation of the law is when the office and federal register assigns public law as a number, and this is when the government printing office prints a copy of it, and laws are issued first in a slip form and then in a signal publication containing a law. And then that's when, this is a case where we have our sandwich now and the bill becomes a law. And yeah, and that's the legislative process, and that's how a bill becomes a law. And we have our perfect sandwich. Now we could get our chips, we could get our drinks, and we could just have a meal. Hopefully you enjoyed my analogy. Thank you. This is Olivier Georges, and it's been a pleasure.